So Shabbat Shalom from the Drosos family from Arizona, from the desert. But I'm just checking this out. You might want to slow down and go to the carpool lane, because it's a total stop. Anyway, I'm just checking this out and trying it for the first time. I was trying to download someplace else and it's not really uploading very well, so here it goes. But I feel the need to talk about what I'm seeing happening in the world in Jerusalem. Abba's been teaching me this stuff for many years. And it's hard because many things that I thought were going to be coming a long time ago are now just starting to come about. And basically it's because of, when you enter in the spirit of prophecy, when you enter into the heavenly realms, there's no time and space there. So you're getting information, but you don't always know the time and space of it. So I've been seeing, America as Babylon for a long time. I've been seeing, he proved it to me many times. He told me the Statue of Liberty is the whore of Babylon. It's Ishtar. It's the whole reason why they have Easter service. It's her. Bunnies and eggs and all. It's all a pagan ritual. And it was all brought to us to confuse us, to take us away from God's law. And the sad thing is, we had Jews and Christians that wanted us going against God's law. And now what we see through history, we see what happened. People's fears come upon themselves. And that was the thing, is they were fearing. The kingdom of Yehuda was fearing the light of God's law to be shared outside of their banks, outside of their people. And that's why Yeshua had to come and go be a light to the darkness. That's what it was always about. And the others were refusing to, and they were going against. See, Yeshua couldn't even work with the Pharisees at the time. He couldn't work with them because they were too full of their box, their pride, the leaven. They were too full of their leaven because they made new rules and added to God's laws and made it so they can look better than the other person. You see how that works? And now it's so sad because I see Jews all over the place thinking that they're sinning more by mixing meat and cheese together, or having it next to each other, versus eating pork or something like that. It's like most of them eat. I see, they'll eat the swine. It's sad. Not in Israel. I'm just saying around the world. I see Jews doing that, and I keep trying to tell them. I'm like, look, are you staying kosher? You got to stay kosher. You don't understand. When we have Hebrew genetics, when we were part of that group of genetics that decided to marry him and took the law and said yes to it, our DNA is still in us, and that DNA is cursed by not following his law. And that's what I'm here to expose to the world, to the church, is that if we don't start following his laws, that we're cursed. We're cursed people. We're cursed more so than normal people because he loves us. Other people can be living fine and having enjoying all the pleasures of the world and not ever thinking about God, and they just enjoy life and just enjoy for themselves. They're living for themselves, which is something I saw many years ago. That's how you'll know who's who. Because many years ago, Satan came up to me in '91, right after what happened to me in Israel. Satan, I felt like a ping pong ball between Satan and God.
GPS signal lost.
And Satan was offering me anything. He's like, you can have all your heart's desires. But what he told me was, you have to look out for number one. That meant me. And when I looked over to the Creator and God, the Father, as if, like, what do you have to offer? It's not what I was doing, but I was just kind of torn in between the two. And what he told me he had to offer, all he had to offer me was the feeling that he gave me, that I had in my heart when the fire came into me, when his love came into me. He says, it's all I have to offer you is that fire. And he said, it will cost you everything to keep it. You will have to lay your life down. Not only you can't look out for number one. I mean, yeah, you can't look out for yourself. You have to look out for the others beyond yourself. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. It was laying my reputation down. It was laying everything. It's cost us so many things. Now my wife has just quit her job in faith, which is all very much what I'm having to do now. She's teaching me how to be faithful to Him. And like now I'm supposed to go to Israel without anything. I'm not supposed to take any money. I don't know how that's going to work. But God willing, He's going to take care of it. I'm not going to worry about the flesh anymore. I'll let Him take care of that. I'm going to worry about His kingdom and just to listen and do. So that's what I'm trying to say. I know I have to go give a warning to Jerusalem again. The first time was warning that was a war was breaking out. I remember the day it broke out. Oh gosh, it was a holiday. I don't remember if it was Yom Teruah or Yom Kippur that everything changed. I remember that whole night the atmosphere of Jerusalem changed. And war did break out. We were actually going to be in the place where the stabbing took place. But I talked to this other Jewish kid. That might have been him. I talked this other Jewish kid into going the opposite direction. And we were going to be there right at that time when that stabbing took place. That started everything over there. What's that? It was the blood.
It was the fourth blood moon.
The fourth blood moon time. That's when we were there that time. So we warned them about war, and that's started. We warned them about, or I warned them about fire last time. I told them God's glory was coming. His fire was coming and was going to burn all that's unholy out of the land. And I didn't realize even after I left. Well, I was there too, but then even after I left, there were fires going on. It's kind of strange because that happened in California too, and Las Vegas. The shooting happened right after we left. I didn't know what it is. It's pretty strange, but where he has us go afterwards, it seems like there's judgment that comes after. So, and then he was telling me where she was, he started explaining to me how it was a whore. I'm like, what? What? I don't understand. That was 2016, I'm guessing. And then and he started telling me how he was going to take Jerusalem from the Jews. And then he started to explain to me how they refused to let the congregations into the nations, so he's going to bring the nations to them. But it all goes along with his plan. I'm seeing it now. And then everybody thought I was crazy, and they're like, never would that happen. And then 3 days later, it was 3 days before UNESCO. 3 days before UNESCO made the decision that that Jerusalem wasn't, in fact, didn't belong to Israel, but belonged to the Muslims. And so anyway, people thought a little bit differently after that. But then after that was the when I went, he was showing me about, it was like the water about giving birth, and he was showing me like Jerusalem was a womb, and the moisture that was coming in first, it was actually making it more unholy. There was unholiness going on down there, and that bit of water that was coming was actually making bad things grow. If that makes sense. And then water was going to come flooding through, washing her, and it'd be like the woman giving birth. It was like a womb opening up. Oh my gosh, I saw a vision of that when I was there. I didn't write it. Did I write it down? See, that's why I do what I'm doing right here, because I forget things. Anyway, so that's what that was about. And then so I'm seeing the fire I'm seeing the fires happen after I left that year. So it seems like I'm giving a warning a year ahead of time. So I don't know if that means the war is going to come there next year, or if it's expedited. I don't know. But what I do know is, if you can't raise up, and if you don't have your crown and you're in Jerusalem, you won't be safe. Unless you have your crown and you can enter in where nothing can touch you because you're in the presence of God and He protects you, then you're okay. But you better know who you are. Better know you're up there, because that's what it talks about. Those who are in there now, then to go to the mountaintops. That's what the mountaintop is. It's going to your crown, going to heaven, going up to His presence with Him. So Yeah, a lot of judgments are coming now, and judgment's going to come to America, judgment's going to come to Jerusalem, it's going to come to the church first, to his people first, and all kinds of things. Watch the Pope. The Pope is going to unite all the religions of the world, and they're going to try to kill the true people of God, the true Israelite people. That's what they've been after all along. These Jesuits, they're connected to the Khazarians. They say they're Jews, but they are not. And they actually hate the Jews. They actually hate them. All this stuff the Holocaust and all this stuff happened from these people. These same people, believe it or not. That's why even Putin said the Jews were ruled by Jews. But they weren't really Jews. They're of the synagogue of Satan. What they did was they had some bloodline of something, but anyway, they were Khazarian. They were converted when they didn't really convert. Now, did they? I mean, how hard is it to convert? I mean, I follow the law and I love God, and it's pretty impossible for me to convert. God's told me not to. But how did they convert a whole nation of people? Tell me that. Just now. Now you're all Jewish. Hallelujah. Now the promise is all for you. Go kill all the real ones. Go make vaccinations and find out how to kill the real ones out there, because that way we'll get the inheritance. Watch what happens, because the true Esther, the true hidden Hebrew people are out there, and he's waking us up directly, and he's waking us up with power to overcome. What they had for us is going to happen to them. So let all the bloodbath happen over there in Israel. It's going to happen. He doesn't want us there yet. He doesn't want us there yet. When the time comes and we're persecuted for keeping God's laws and keeping his Torah, that's when, the law is already put in place. God already put it there. That's when she's going to open her doors to her children. That's when all the true Hebrew people come home. But we have to come out of Babylon, which is America, and go back to where we came from. To me is Greece. We're going to set up safe havens for his remnant, for his people all over the world, as people coming out of Babylon. We're going to have our own calendar. We have our own holidays. We are not part of the system. We are sovereign under our king, and we are not under anybody's authority at all. We own our own corporation. And anybody goes against it are cursed by the laws of God. He's given the power for people to do these things. That's how. Those who bless us will be blessed, and those who curse us will be cursed. And those who try to curse and then try to bless where they're not appropriate, then they get judged by that same thing. It's all about judgment. All about testing of the heart. So be careful who you call weird, because they're God's people. They might be, you don't know what comes up. See, I'll tell you what comes up with me. I don't know how to curse or do anything like that. All I know is this anger came into me when the fire came into my heart. And when I went to go do something that was a sin against him, I felt this anger. Well, that anger has built up now, and it rises up. And it can't help it. It hates the lies, and it makes me feel. That's why it makes me, the craziness comes out. Because it makes me feel so much. I feel the anger. See, I feel his anger. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We're supposed to be his body on the earth. We were just avatars to connect to him. We were supposed to fulfill his desires on this earth. And it has to do with your desires. But you have to give it all back. You've got to be, you're not willing, he's not willing to let you keep anything you're not willing to give back to him. Because it means it has more power over you than him. So you've got to love him so much that you're willing to give him everything, all the time. That's what he's looking for. Because that's what love is. Love is action. And that's why he made rules, just to prove it. Well, they just don't make any sense. Well, that's none of your business now, is it? He just basically said, here's the rule. If you love me, you'll do this. If you don't, if you do this, I'll bless you. If you don't, I'll curse you. What else is there? You know, what can you say to that? So, praise God. Right now, it is the time to come out of Babylon to come into his truth of his laws, get to know him. What this church that's coming about, like he showed me, it looks more like Woodstock than it does church. It is organic, it is raw, it comes as it comes, and it's coming through us. And what it is as we reunite to the Father, as we reconnect our trees up here, and we're in a beam of light, we've got an open portal above us all the time, we are of our seat in heaven, then it's coming. We are him on earth. And then we get to change the world the way he wants it. See, everybody thinks the way the world made it, that I have authority because I went to school and I did this and I did that and I did this and that and I know this and I know that. And he really laughs at all that stuff. He's like, it doesn't matter. You can know the whole earth and know it, and it'd be all foolishness. You can know everything that's everybody knows on the earth, and it's all foolishness compared to him. That's why it's more about who you know than what you know. It's about who you know more than it is what you know. Hallelujah. So know him. And how do you know him? Why does he say, go away from me, I never knew you? Because you know him by his laws, by his bondage of marriage, the contract, the Torah, which is the ketubah, the 5-part marriage contract. You want to be married to him? Look at his laws. That's how you connect to him. He gave us the spirit to follow it. Now, when I started doing these things because I loved Yeshua, it's what brought me to. It's the doorway that brought me back to the Father. And because I did these, then he introduced the Father. And then now you start becoming one with the Father. And as I'm getting stronger and stronger and deeper, he gives us more and more abilities to bring his kingdom to the earth, to be an authority in his kingdom. Look, most of my life I just wanted to die. I was not looking for anything. But that was my blessing. Because there was no pleasure in the world. And I had such a tough time and sitting there trying to be normal in this world when things, it means nothing to you. And when I sit there and listen to somebody talk sports, I'd want to hang myself. Seriously, I mean, it's just kind of like, I can't see anything more, you know. Dude, the guy wants to take the ball and run it over the line. If it makes him happy, let him have the ball. I don't care. Do what makes you happy. Run the ball across the line and do your little dance. Good for you. Do the little hook 'em horn sign, the Hail Satan sign. Good for you. That's your problem. That's your business. But don't tell me because that's what normal is, that's what good is, and because I'm different because I don't follow that, I'm somehow evil because I'm not a real man, because I don't do those things. Well, they can kiss my behind. My backside. Because, hey, everything, look, here, it's all Fox News Sports. Everything is about everything except for God. And you can't even talk God anymore. They're going to make it illegal now in California to even... Yeah, wait. The fight is on. The fight, light against darkness. And unfortunately, the people that say that they're of the light, they don't even want to turn their light on to expose any darkness because they're afraid of the darkness. So their lights won't be turned on. Your light being turned on is your tree reconnected. And that's what gives you the power to follow his laws. It was the promised spirit of Yeshua that died and gave us, fulfilled Shavuot. We got the law on Shavuot, and we also got the oil, the Spirit of God that came to us on Shavuot, that gave him tongues of fire and fire out of their hearts as well, and that was the Spirit. He baptizes us with water and fire and blood. Wow. All to cleanse us. The blood is the first feast. It's Yeshua, the Lamb of God. He's the one that enters the Lamb and suffers for us every year, and he always did for the kingdom of Yahuwah. He always entered the Lamb. He was the Lamb back then. Know that. He suffers even today for our sins. Whatever we do, make him suffer, because, see, true love, the more you love somebody, the more indebted you are to that person, the more vulnerable you are to them. So think about how much God loves his creation and the people that he made, and how vulnerable that makes him. So you can see where the anger comes from when people don't want to keep a Sabbath, or they don't think to even, I mean, God gave us everything, and he's like, all I ask of you is to follow my laws if you want to be close to me. And Christianity and Churchianity thinks it's a bondage. Let the judgment come to the church. Let it be, it's time. I'm here to split the church, I know that. May it happen. That's holiness, that's goodness. That's the fire that's coming. The fire is his light. It's his oil. And that's what's coming, that he came to set a fire and watch it go ablaze in this earth. And that's what it's all about. It's about the separation in fire. If you can't handle the heat of the fire, you're going to be pushed out into where you can handle it. And that's how he's setting his people apart. I can't be around unholiness. I expose it. I cannot help it but expose it. So whether it's a family member, or it's a mother or father, it doesn't even matter, uncle, in-law, it doesn't matter who it is. When there is evil, the light wants to expose it, because that's what it's for. Anyway, we're almost where we're supposed to go, but praise God, I just wanted to share with you on that. I never know what I'm going to talk about. But I just know God is taking us on this whole new adventure of hearing. We're jumping off a cliff, basically. I'm not afraid, because I know he's always, anytime he's asked me to do anything, he's always taken care of us. Sure, the world's going to think we're total idiots, and that's fine. They're supposed to. They're supposed to. The answer to your question is yes. If God asked me to go play in the highway, I would. I hope I would. That's the whole thing. That's what love is. He wants to see, he wants to prove to see who loves him. That's it. He's a father that made rules for his house. And all these people, unfortunately, we have a group of people thinking that if their mother's Jewish, their mother could be Khazarian. They had a bloodline that wasn't even, it's not even Semitic at all. Yet they say that the true ones that God is raising up now, God is bringing into his laws by his spirit, they're not allowing them in, and that's what God's going to really test now. He says, but your brother was lost, and now they're found. They're coming home, and I'm blessing them. I'm giving them a ring as kings and a cloak, a wedding garment, and I killed the best sacrifice for them, which was my son Yeshua. He's bringing us home because we've been eating with the pigs, and we've been eating the pigs. We took our freedom. That's what we wanted. We were the whore. We were Hagar. Hagar? No. Gomer. Gomer. She's an unfaithful wife, and that's who we were. The adulterous woman that was being stoned. He drew the line in the sand because he was taking the punishment for her.
Is this where I exit, Dimitri?
Yes. Kyrene, yeah, this is Kyrene. Anyway, praise God. He came to gather us back because he loved us even though we were unfaithful. And our brothers Yehuda are going to be jealous, and they're not going to like us coming back. But it is what it is, and they will realize that they can't control it because it's all his will. And he will give power where he decides to give power. And they all think it's going to come out of their hierarchy. And they don't understand it's going to come from the bottom. It's going to come from the bottom up. Both my shoulders, I just had a procedure last week. And now, because of that, I've been able to use this one. I was using this one, so now they're both getting fried again. Anyway, bless you guys. I love you. Thanks for listening. Anybody want to say anything? Shabbat Shalom. We love you. Thanks for joining us on our Shabbat and with our family. We love you, and we want to share him with you. Everything that I know, I want to share with you, and I want to know everything that you know about him. Together we will bring him. Together we will see him. Each a person. Bless you. Love you. Bye.